The prop trading industry is nothing but a glorified lottery system. Get out of it as soon as possible.
What kind of capital have you actually managed to give out to traders running their own funds so far?
So far, we've allocated around $33 million into the allocation accounts.
And our entire purpose as a customer is to give our traders an edge. And this is exactly the personification of that position as a company and where we stand morally as a business.
In the past few weeks, the retail trading industry has been plunged into chaos as prop firm after prop firm have effectively been shut down. So, why is this happening? Well, brokers are not allowed to offer contract for difference products in America and to American clients. It's against the law in that country. Brokers like Axi know this and respect these rules. However, many prop firms have long been flouting these regulations and offering CFD products in America. Now, US regulators are clamping down, but because most prop firms operate in other countries, the US CFTC can't go after them directly. Instead, they're going after the large companies that provide the infrastructure and allow these prop firms to operate. That's the payment providers, the platforms themselves, and most importantly, MetaQuotes. So the prop firms are losing their access to the MetaTrader platforms. Now, thousands of clients have already had their accounts closed, and it feels like a seismic or house of cards moment for the prop trading industry. To better understand what's going on, I'm joined by Rajesh Yohanan, Axi's CEO, Louis Cooper, their Chief Commercial Officer, and Greg Rubin, who runs the Axi Select program. Gents, we've been in this industry for many, many years now, and while there are always ups and downs, twists and turns, our first thoughts are always with the traders who have been caught up in things like this. I know we're going to have some helpful suggestions for them later, but first, Louis, why are all these prop firms being shut down now?
The regulators aren't particularly happy with the model that the prop trading firms are using. It's not just the fact in the US, for example, that the contracts for difference is not a legal product for retail trade. It's also the fact that through the demo account model, which is the majority of the prop trading industry outside Axi Select, which we'll get to later, are using a demo account model where they're charging registration fees to the end customer to allow them through the process of trying to get onto a funded program. That is fundamentally flawed in the fact that it then means that the product is not a financially regulated product, it's not a financial service, but essentially the customers are paying a registration fee.
You're better off going and buying a raffle ticket rather than going and trying to register for one of these prop firms. What are you doing? So if you look at the business model of the prop firms, it is not based on providing an environment for clients to trade. It is based on the registration fee that they are collecting, not too different from what a lottery, a firm that runs a lottery operation does. Most lottery operations, by the way, are regulated, and these guys are not regulated anyway. So you are actually gambling with somebody who has no policing at all.
What's happened to all of those traders who have had their accounts shut down, and do you have any suggestion of what they should do next?
If you really want to be a trader, if trading fascinates you, the global markets fascinate you, movements in prices fascinate you, and you think that this is a career that you can make, stay away from that. I'm not saying Axi Select is the only option available. It is one of the few options available, but there are several options available where you can actually go and invest time in and to become a better trader. So chances are that many of the prop trading firms will go to some other platform providers like CTrader or DevExperts and try to provide an alternative to the clients, but you're not solving the fundamental issue. And the fundamental issue lies at the core of their business model. The business model is collecting as much of the registration fee as possible and ensure that as few number of people get through to getting funded. If you do not do a KYC and AML on a client, you're not a financial services provider at all.
And why exactly have so many prop firms entered the market in the first place and, created what seems like the exact same model?
I think that the barriers of entry are very low. To be able to white label a platform, set up a marketing function. A lot of the tech providers in the demo space provide white label services, so it's very easy to set up a prop firm, a market prop firm. You don't need to be licensed in any particular jurisdiction. So it's extremely easy to set up this product, and it's the model itself to the uninitiated is very attractive. And from my perspective, though, to the uninitiated, to say that I pay you a registration fee and I can have access to some very attractive funding within days, it is an attractive proposition, but it's not real, and it's not sustainable. And I think, although I don't believe that the retail segment has fully understood that yet, the regulators have understood it. And I think that's why we're seeing what we're seeing at present.
Certainly. And then, Greg, can you explain a little bit more what exactly the demo model is, and how are prop firms different to Axi Select, your own capital allocation model?
So I think Louis gave a very good description of the demo model and the sort of issues and problems that they face. But essentially, the demo model, which refers to using demo accounts, and it's what the industry standard is to set up a model using demo accounts and to charge a registration fee. The registration fee is to pass an evaluation, and if you pass the evaluation, you then get access to funded capital. Many companies have 2 evaluations, and talking about flaws in the model, you can see the percentage of traders that actually pass these evaluations.
So, Greg, after traders have been, promised this dream of funding in a few days, can you give us an idea? Has there been any research done on what kind of percentage of traders pass the evaluation and then actually go on to manage to withdraw any money from these platforms?
It's such an ever-changing industry. There's so many more firms that have come in, and sort of rules are changing quite quickly. So it's hard to know the exact figures, but a simple Google would tell you anywhere between 90 to 95% of traders don't ever pass the evaluation. And of the 5 to 10% that do, there's generally 1 to 2% are still on the program after a couple months. Now, don't quote me on those figures. You can Google them. This is what I got from Google. But it is extraordinarily how low these figures are. And again, that's, you ask why so many firms entered. Well, there's a large opportunity for profit, and that's what we've seen. Now, Axi Select is very different to what's out there in the marketplace. We've created a completely unique product. And looking at the major differences, well, one is the registration fee. Axi Select is 100% free to join. We don't charge a registration fee, and we don't have an evaluation account. What we do require, evaluation stage. What we do require is for clients to deposit their own funds into their own Axi Select account, and then we set up an account with our funds, which trades alongside it. These funds are completely the client's funds, and they can withdraw these funds at any point in time. We also know that trading's not easy. We don't pretend it is, and we don't expect clients ought to be at the final stage of the program, and that's very much aligned with, we're not trying to sell a get-rich-fast scheme. We're not trying to say get funded for large amounts of money in a short space of time. So our program structure, which is a lot more holistic, reflects this. And it's also why we offer 3 attempts as opposed to 1 attempt.
So for us, this is bigger than just a program. It's actually a structure to build more success through our customers. And our entire purpose as a customer is to give our traders an edge. And this is exactly the personification of that position as a company, where we stand morally as a business.
Clients get 3 attempts on our program, whereas the industry standard is 1 attempt, and you get that hard breach email that gets sent. We certainly know that traders are going to go through tough times, and we do allow them to have 3 attempts. Another big reason is we use real live accounts for all trading on the Axi Select program. We've sort of established that the industry standards to use demos. All Axi Select clients have access to the exact same accounts that our Axi traders have. They can even choose if they want the standard or the pro accounts. We often refer to the all-inclusive nature of Axi Select. Yes, we do offer generous funding, $1 million at the top end of a trade to keep 90%. But we've also created a program that's there to assist traders in their journey. We have things like dashboard and leaderboard and edge score, which is a significantly more comprehensive offering away from the funding than what we see from our competitors. So it certainly, in that sense, it adds to what we're trying to create here is a genuinely fair opportunity for traders to forge long-term careers.
So essentially it feels like with the demo model, traders are playing some kind of computer game where prices aren't regulated, they can be manipulated even, whereas Axi Select is on a live trading model with live prices.
Yes, that's interesting you use the word manipulated. Now, I'm not saying anybody or any firm are manipulating prices, but what is interesting is the latest development in the space in the last probably 5-6 months. We've seen firms that offer to pass evaluation for you. Now, how can these firms pass evaluation if they were so confident they could make 10% every single month? Well, they'll be professional traders. The difference is the demo account is set up differently. There's with latency and with the different elements to it, there's a way where traders can take advantage of the demo account to generate profits. And it's likely when you look at these firms who are offering the service to pass a challenge for you, that they might be onto something. Otherwise, if they could make 10% every month, they wouldn't be offering that service.
Louis, was Axi Select intentionally set up in this way as an alternative to prop firms because you may have seen this problem coming?
Yeah, that's a good question. But I think to say we foresaw the issues that are happening right now, I think is probably too far of a stretch. What we did, though, was we set up Axi Select in the mind of what is our objective from this program and what is the edge that we provide to our customers in the first place. And anyone who's traded for any length of time knows that if you have a real live account using your own money initially, that is a great start to understanding the good, the bad, and the ugly of trading for yourself. And the psychology of trading with your own funds is an important part of us assessing your value, skill, and your risk management. We would never give the kind of money that the prop trading industry is doing at large in such a short amount of time because it's irresponsible. It's not good for the client, and it's not good for us as a broker. And we've been in the broking industry for nearly 16 years. We understand the global marketplace. We understand what is a viable financial service, as Rajesh has quite rightly pointed out, and what is essentially gambling and a lottery. And essentially, we built this to be a strategy for the long term.
Greg, there'll be dozens of traders out there at the moment still trading with prop firms or thinking about signing up to these registration fees. If they are nervously watching this right now, how easy would it be for them to jump over to the Axi Select program as an alternative?
The actual process or physical process is rather simple and straightforward. All clients will actually have to do is to go to the Axi website, go through the onboarding process, receive an Axi Select account, and the rest is sort of quite self-explanatory and all automated, and the clients will have an Axi Select account. What would be a lot more difficult would be the mental transition. Mentally, a lot of these clients would not understand the Axi Select model. It's to understand that Axi Select is totally different to what they're used to and to what to expect. One of my biggest annoyances is when I see on forums or I see non-Axi Select traders or prop firm traders talking about Axi Select, and they try and pigeonhole it into the industry standard model where I'll hear, well, Axi Select is basically a $100,000 program where you can earn 50%, which is quite a good offering. And I'm like, absolutely not at all. Axi Select is nowhere close to anything that exists within the current spectrum of what's offered. And it's very important that we can get that message across. If we're giving you $200,000 of our money, we're not going to give it to anybody. We need to make sure that you can actually handle, or you have reached the required skill to manage that sort of money. And that's the important part that people need to understand.
Louis, Axi Select's been up and running for around 6 months now, is that right? How has the growth been during that period?
It's been phenomenal, actually. We had an ambition in terms of how we wanted this to go. It's far exceeded our expectations. We've been averaging around 40% growth month on month, which has been incredible. And what has also been surprising is just how global the phenomenon is. We are seeing customers from every single continent where we're able to operate. And essentially, in my role as Chief Commercial Officer, I visit many of our customers and business partners around the globe. And the fundamental feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, not only in terms of the fact that Axi Select is an attractive proposition at the kind of pro stage, but also that we have approached this model so much more differently than the vertical. People think we're brave doing that, but they understand why. They understand that this is a much more transparent model that has the necessary controls to make people better traders and also provide them with a pathway that's genuine. We're operating, I think, in 8 or 9 languages, and the growth has been beyond even our expectations. And I think that's a credit to the way the program has been designed and how it's resonating with the market as a whole. So we couldn't be more pleased at the moment with how we're progressing.
And of course, a credit to the man running the program, Greg. Now you're speaking to the Axi Select traders every day. What kind of capital have you actually managed to give out to traders running their own funds so far?
Once clients deposit their own funds into their Axi Select account, we deposit our funds into an allocation account, which, depending on the different stages, the traders are entitled to share in the profits. And so far, we've allocated around $33 million into the allocation accounts.
So Axi Select traders are running up to $33 million of Axi money in the allocation accounts already.
I remember, Richard, as well, we're sharing their success at every stage. So, ultimately, it's a very symbiotic relationship with the client. We are sharing in their success. And as a company, that's lucrative. But ultimately, from our perspective, the more customers we allocate funds to, the better it will be for everybody.
I think that's very clear that Axi Select seems to benefit with traders' success, where the prop firm model actually benefits from their failure because they come back to pay the registration fee over and over again. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. Certainly such a hot topic at the moment.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you.